I don't even know where to start with this one. As you can see, the state of this poor bedside table is just tragic. It will take some serious work to save this one. Let's see what I can do. On the back of this bedside table, there was a label from a Bristol auction house and a utility mark. And if you are interested in it, you can pause the video and read a bit more. But basically, this means that after the Second World War, there was a special quality mark for tax-free cheap furniture, and that's what this is. Hello beautiful people and welcome to another project. Grab a snack, relax and enjoy the video. As you can see, I'm using my heat gun to remove the veneer, and some parts were much easier to work with than the others. The hardware on this bedside table was something that's called bakelite, which is basically the very first type of plastic. And despite this being a vintage type of plastic, I knew that I wouldn't keep these knobs and I would replace them with something else. The locks and the hinges, however, I was gonna clean up and reuse. Because the damage on this table was so bad, I knew that there was no way to save this veneer because it was simply missing, so I had to replace it. For whatever reason, the side panels were made from two different materials, and the first bit, as you can see, was no problem, very straightforward, the veneer came off. But the second half, the veneer and the substrate were fused together, and it took a lot of force and effort to get it off. And yes, it's possible it could have come off easily with steam, but I just didn't try it. I guess I was just being a bit stubborn. And you can see right here the gouges that were left in the substrate after I removed it, so I knew I would have to fix it before I applied veneer. So to solve the problem, I used my hand plane and some wood filler. Because veneer is usually quite thin, if you apply it on a surface that's not smooth and flat, you'll be able to see all the imperfections. Next, I removed the paint from the doors, and surprisingly the veneer underneath was in a pretty good shape, so I decided to save it. As I mentioned before, this is utility furniture, so it was made from whatever was available. And here you can see me sanding through a very thin softwood veneer that was applied to the inside of the doors. I didn't like it, and what was underneath actually looked much better. To remove the stain that was stuck in the wood grain, I used some paint stripper. Just a quick thank you to all of you guys who support me via Buy Me a Coffee, my Amazon wishlist link, or by simply clicking on the Super Thanks button. Thank you so much, and all the links are down below if you're interested. I don't know why stripping paint is so satisfying to watch, but I like it too. Despite what some people might think, using wire brush on oak, if you go with the grain, is actually okay, especially if you use brass wire brush. I think my fairy friend knew that after all that sanding, I needed some moral support, so she stopped by to cheer me up. As the last step of restoring the oak veneer on the doors, I decided to use oxalic acid. When it dried, I rinsed it with water and I gave it light sanding. I applied wood glue to all the surfaces that I was going to put veneer on, and I waited for it to dry. You can also do the same thing with contact cement, but I actually find this method much better. When the glue was dry to the touch, I put it back on, made sure that it was exactly where I needed it to be, and used my iron on the highest setting to iron it on, and I made sure the steam function was off. When I was happy with it, I sprayed it with water and I checked for any imperfections or bubbling. And I gave it one more pass with my iron just to be sure. And I did exactly the same thing on the top. Hope you guys find this video interesting, and if you do, please subscribe for more videos like this. To cut off the excess veneer, I used a fresh blade on my utility knife. And as I was working on this project, I got a package from xTOOL, so I decided to give it a try and see how useful it can be for everyday woodworking. If you watch my videos, you might have seen me use this xTOOL D1 Pro laser, and what I just got in the mail is just the laser module itself that you can swap with the one you already have. It basically makes it more powerful and faster. So I decided to use it to cut the shelf for the inside of the bedside table. I just drew a basic rectangle according to the dimensions that I needed, and I checked if it would fit. Next, I set the power and the speed of the laser, and I watched it go. I was actually pretty happy with the one that I had before, but this one is comparable to a low power CO2 laser, and this is powerful and fast enough to actually do some useful things. Just check out how thick this plywood is and how quickly it cut it. And also, the best thing about it, it's perfectly square. And yes, I could have designed and cut the exact shape that I needed, but this was just easier. I'm using my Japanese pull saw to cut these notches, and this is probably one of the most useful tools you can buy. I veneered the shelf to match the rest of the bedside table, and I dried the glue with my heat gun to speed up the process. And to make it extra nice, I use some leftover edge banding to cover the edge of the plywood. And since I had the laser out, I decided to engrave my logo on the bottom of the shelf. I'm gonna let you see in real time how fast this was. And if you are interested in one of these machines, xTOOL is running crazy good deals for Valentine's Day, so I'll put all the links in the description. And there it is, that easy. At this point I was ready to stain and I used this color. This was the first time I was using this stain and definitely not the last one because the result was beautiful. It looked completely different when it was dry, so don't think that this is what it's gonna look like. I soaked the hinges and the hardware in acetone before I cleaned it with steel wool. I carefully stained the edge of the shelf and I applied oil to the bottom of it. There was some bleed through from the stain after removing the tape, so I used my X-Acto knife and sandpaper to clean it up. And I used a tiny artist brush to stain the edge of the plywood on the top, which by the way took forever. And I also stained the dovetails for a nice contrast. This is my favorite part of the project when everything is coming together. I put all the hardware back on, applied some beeswax, and the project was finished. Before I show you the final results, please remember to subscribe and check out all the links in the description below, as well as the special offers for xTOOL laser. Enjoy the photos and see you in the next video.